this is John Sadak, TV voice of the Cincinnati Reds, and you're up for Late Night Reds Talk.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds Talk Live, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network and Bet Online. Bet Online, we're back and better than ever with a new web interface for the rest of the NBA season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. Bet Online remains your number one spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BLEAV 50, to receive your bonus. Bet Online, Believe Podcast Network, Late Night Reds Talk Live. The moon is bright. The spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. But because of the MLB lockout, we are not simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I am Tim Daniel, very excited to be here with my crew, as always, our excellent producer, rocking the X today. I see you, Nick Kirby. I see it.
It was a very lovely weekend. I had a nice weekend.
It was.
How about you, Tim?
I was there. It was an awesome atmosphere. They fed us Skyline in the media room, so it's always a win. So
Absolutely.
It was a fun night, man. There's nothing like working the crosstown shootout. It's a blessing. Also joining us, as always, the biggest fan of Skyline Chili, former Major League Baseball pitcher himself, Carlos Guevara. How are you, buddy?
Quit telling lies about me, Tim. Come on. I'm doing good, guys. How are y'all?
When you come for opening day, you know we're taking to Skyline one day, right?
For sure.
Okay, I'm just making sure you're aware.
We'll get it on video, and then Nick's going to be back there chugging straight from the can. He already said it, so.
Yeah.
If he can't make it to opening day, we're sending him Skyline, and he's going to do it live.
Yeah. Hopefully baseball can make it to opening day. That's the other thing.
Point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I always have a can of Skyline in the cupboard. I mean,
same.
There's at least one, always.
Same.
I doubt it ever expires, kind of like dog food, right?
No, never expires. It's like one of those 6-year expirations. So, not that I need it. I mean, it's gone quick.
Yeah,
It's automatically on every shopping order. Automatically.
Although Skyline, if you're out there listening, why don't you be our sponsor?
Yeah, I'll wear those sweet shoes that you guys gave out to the UC and Xavier coaches. I'll wear those on the show. Heck yeah, I will. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into today's broadcast because, well, it's still lockout season. It'll be lockout day 12. It feels like a blog, like a video diary at this point. And as you can see here from sportslogos.net, every single Major League logo is officially blacked out, including the Cleveland Guardians right next to the Cincinnati Reds, which I think that logo is kind of growing on me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I know that's not the point of this conversation. I'm kind of starting to like the logo.
What's the best looking logo right now, the way it looks?
Ooh, man. I'm still a big fan of the Arizona Diamondbacks one. Even though they're right there at the top left.
Oh, yeah.
And then
I like the Marlins. I like one that's like not like cookie cutter. Like I like that it's very like, you know, I don't know, differently shaped or whatever. The Blue Jays looks pretty cool too.
Blue Jays is always cool. That's like my favorite hat is the Blue Jays.
I like an Oakland A's hat.
Yeah, I have one from my days of collecting Major League caps. I would always collect 20 to the 30 teams when I worked at Lids. I would never buy the Cardinals or the Pirates. I would get everyone else. I sold my Cubs hat actually, but
the Satan.
Yeah, I used to buy a bunch of hats as well, but once I started playing, everybody's like, "You play for the Braves? I thought you played for the." I'm like, "Ugh, never mind." Well, you couldn't wear it while you played, but even afterwards, like my kid played for the Yankees, so I bought a Yankees hat to coach him. And everybody's like, "You played with the Yankees?" I'm like, "God dang it. Never buying big league hats again. Just Padres and Reds. That's it."
My biggest heartbreak for you, Carlos, is this short tenure. You remember the Florida Marlins organization. You didn't even get to wear the teal hat.
I know. And the Rockies.
Yeah. Did you get a Major League uniform in spring training?
For who?
Colorado?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think what's just kind of one of the things we want to touch on here is obviously this is still really irritating. You're hearing a lot of rumblings of like people just being mad, and that's it. And, you know, the pictures are still going around like they were last week, but MLB lockout day 12, same as MLB lockout day 5, it feels like.
Yeah, it just seems like there's absolutely zero sense of urgency on anything at this point. And, it doesn't seem like we're going to get any sense of urgency till we get, closer to games getting played. I don't know. The only positive I've heard is that losing spring training revenue would be a lot more hurtful than we would think. So I think that's the only positive thing I've heard is, well, maybe they'll actually, feel a little more pressure, when we get closer. But yeah, strap in.
Is this going to be like, if we get to the point like where like MLB The Show 22 comes out, is it going to be like it used to be in Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball where they just had to put a bunch of fake names in? But it was like, oh, that guy's 100% Eric Davis. But his name would be like Joe Sanderson, number 44 for the Cincinnati Reds, left fielder. And you're like, I don't know about that.
That is fascinating. That is something I haven't thought of, or I don't think I've heard anything about that. But I would assume they're not going to be able to have the players if the lockout's not done. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have
I
more.
wonder if they'll even be able to put it out.
You can still put out Major League logos in like Major League uniforms. Kind of what Nick were talking about last week because the GMs and the front office is still working.
But those players get paid from that game.
They do, yeah.
So that's why I don't know if they're going to be able to put it out because it's for profit.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit easier back in like 1995 when they all had the same face,
Yeah.
Whereas now, I mean, like you can pretty well tell who's who, even if you take their names. I don't know. Maybe they can get away with, just having, number 19 with Joey Votto's face and likeness. I don't know. That's an interesting thought. Maybe they'll finally get more classic teams on the show.
That's the thing. Like I always wanted. I was like, and I know it's like really like one of the things I love about 2K. And I understand in basketball rosters compared to baseball and football rosters is totally different. But like I always wanted to see like you can play with the 1976 Cincinnati Reds, and I was like, obviously they wouldn't put Pete Rose in the game. It'd be like number 14, Reet Pose, third baseman,
Pete Rose Jr. Pete Rose Jr. filling in for his pops.
But yeah, I always wanted that because like there's like people out there who, thank God for them, have far more time in life than I do. Where they'll like put like in the roster vaults where they'll actually be like, download this, you can play with the 1995 Major League rosters, and like I have a blast with those because Deion Sanders is playing for the Reds in those. So if only they would just bring back the unis from that time.
Yeah, they've had like the same uniforms for the Reds for the last like 10 years, and the Reds had like a whole season where they had like 10 different uniforms. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, Carlos, for letting MLB The Show hijack the podcast. Although, I mean, there's just so much riveting conversation to be had around baseball these days that,
That could be a fun podcast right there. Like all-time favorite baseball video games. Dude,
there you go.
I could go to town on that one.
If it's March 15th and we have no no signs of life, we're doing a full video game podcast.
Perfect.
Owners, you're warned.
Yeah, man. But yeah, obviously, just kind of still in the same boat. We'll be probably betting on people online playing MLB The Show with our Bet Online sponsorship soon, just to get baseball feels. They did it during the pandemic where people play 2K online and people would literally bet on the game. And I was like, we have really failed as a society if this is where we're at in sports right now.
Well, minor league baseball can play.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very, very, very small part of me that kind of thinks it'd be fascinating if like minor league baseball was the only baseball going on for a couple weeks. Like if you'll be betting on the Dayton Dragons and, maybe ESPN would pick up some minor league games, and it could be they could have some fun with it. It'd be fun for like a week, and then we'd be like, okay, like let's go.
Yeah, it was like in the pandemic when like you would get up at like 6 a.m. to go to work, and like they would have the Japanese baseball games on.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for a couple of days. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, I gotta watch some baseball. I gotta wake up at 5 to watch this game.
Yeah, you're like look behind like home plate, and it's like all stuffed animals are like in like the premium seats. Like,
golly,
that was the best.
Well, we got Winter League coming up to watch.
Yeah, we do, which actually brings us thanks to Bryce and our next conversation. Jose Barrero would be league MVP, I would bet. So shout out Bryce, which is really fitting because, Carlos just said, Jose Barrero to begin Winter League play on Tuesday. We talked last week that he'd be playing there in the offseason, and he's been working with Alan Zinter and Joel McKeithen right before the owners lockout. I, for the life of me, cannot pronounce the team he's playing for. Should I try it?
Yes.
Okay. Carlos, if you can pronounce it, you got to tell me how off I am. Is it La Temporada del Siglo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh.
Boom.
Look at that. Flexing. Obviously, I know Jose Barrero versus Kyle Farmer is a hot take on the Twitters.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, we're going hard right now.
Right, Guevara?
So Carlos, tell us about your favorite player.
I don't even have a side to take here. I'm just like justifying why it happened and why it's not happening, and like people hate me.
I think there's going to be plenty of at bats for both guys unless the Reds sign a couple more players. And if there's going to be a DH, I mean, if this is the team the Reds have, there's plenty of at bats to go around, guys.
Yeah, so we got to talk about this for a little bit. So,
yeah,
people keep throwing the damn defensive numbers that he put up out there, which is so dumb. They want to use that and say, okay, no, take that for a full season, and he's going to be freaking Barry Larkin at shortstop. Like, okay, do the offensive side. No, that doesn't count. He didn't get enough at bats. I'm like, wait, what? But he got enough ground balls. How does that work? Oh man, I would have liked to have seen him play more too, but at the same time, I just know that people don't like to hear it, but that would have messed up the, kind of what they had going there at the end of what was it, like August, when they were playing well, and for him to come in there, that would have disrupted it. Whatever. I don't know. He's going to get plenty of chances. He'll get plenty of chances this year.
Farmer did hit pretty well in September, didn't he?
Yeah.
July, he was obviously awesome. Yeah.
And Suarez also hit pretty well in September, who'd have been the other option, right? Like, am I remembering this right? So, I mean, look, none of that cost the Reds, so what, I guess maybe could have played more center field. I think I would have supported
totally
that.
Fine with their shortstop the way it is now. If they split time next year, I'll be fine with it. Like, that's not their problem. Shortstop is not their problem.
Yeah, I mean, until they go get a legit center fielder, there's so much playing time to go around that I don't really think it's even remotely an issue at this point. I mean, I guess if you have Senzel, Barrero, and Farmer, you're gonna have one odd man out, but how long is Senzel gonna be on the field?
Yeah.
So
Senzel at this point is like Derrick Rose, where you're like, oh man, you see he had those flashes, and you're like, and he's gone.
Derrick Rose was so rough to watch. His jump shot was brutal.
Yeah. Believe me, I know.
Still love you too, Bryce.
I did love that this week. Kyle Farmer decided to take to Twitter and like everyone's tweets. I'm all for it.
That's A+ trolling.
That
doesn't say anything back. Just the casual like. That's what I would do. That is exactly 100% what I would do if I saw tweets like that. I just like.
I see you. I see what you said.
Yeah, I had someone. I had an MLB Network personality once do that to me. I said something, kind of, like they were terrible, and they hit the like, and then they followed me, and I was like so uncomfortable. I was like, oh man, it's great trolling. It's phenomenal trolling. So mad respect.
Yeah, I love the people that talk shit. They'd be the first ones asking for an autograph.
Oh yeah.
Hey sir. Oh hey Kyle Farmer. Hi. How are you? I'm a big fan. Can I get a picture? You're great.
Bryce is coming hard today.
We might have to send Bryce a link and have him come on in here. Like,
Oh, what else we got going on, man?
He doesn't need to be in the cage. He's got that position wrapped up already.
Oh man, you love to see it.
So Carlos, what can Jose Barrero get out of winter ball?
Hopefully he plays some center field. Seriously, like I'm really hoping he gets to play there. I don't know. Have they said if he's just going to play shortstop or not?
I don't know, but I'm going to be locked in trying to find a bootleg stream tomorrow night to find out.
It's not on MLB TV?
Yeah, if you want to pay 25 extra bucks. So, yeah.
So you got to pay that in the off season?
Yeah.
It's not a year-round deal?
Yeah.
God, I love MLB.
Can I give you guys my Sling login? Will that work?
Just say it right here online.
No, I pay like $8,000 a month for DirecTV, Tim. If it's not on, I don't have it. No. So MLB, your yearly is only for the game, so you can still go watch like a game from August if you want, but it's an extra $25 for the off-season pass to watch the Dominican
God
games.
almighty, those greedy sons of bitches.
And I think ESPN had the rights before, and they were like on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, they were,
which was only like like $5 a month. But they like, oh, we got a great deal. It's on MLB TV, and I was like, oh, this is exciting. And I went the other night to watch it, and I was like, oh, 25 extra bucks, that's great. But I did find a bootleg stream, so I will send that your way if I find it. I'm definitely not spending $25 on that after the $200 I've already shelled out, this past year. Like that's a bit excessive.
Yeah. So yes, that was a good point that Bryce said. That's I guess when they announced, they said he'd be playing shortstop and center field, Carlos. So
yeah, good. I'm glad. Hopefully, I mean, you don't expect to see too much hitting wise. I don't know how much live pitching he's been seeing right now. So I mean, this small sample size will be just kind of like the small sample size he got during the year, which, I mean, anything you can take being around older players, stuff like that, that's going to do nothing but help. And, they're going to be big situations, I'm sure, that he's going to come up to in the playoffs, which is going to help as well. So hopefully we get to see some highlights.
Yeah, I hope so.
A lot more energy than in Louisville, huh?
Yeah. Remember he had a bomb in the Futures game? That was cool.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for Jose Barrero, and I'm excited for Kyle Farmer. I'm happy both players are on the Reds roster next year. Both players can really help the Reds. It's good to have both of them. It's okay to like both of them, believe it or not, people.
So I think I know the answer to this question though. So all the people that are really mad at Kyle Farmer and really want Barrero to play, do they watch the games and hope that Kyle Farmer fails? Yes, right?
Not.
I don't. I hope there's maybe a couple. I would hope that most people don't. There's been plenty of Reds players that I've despised over the years that I still rooted for, like
Matt Latos. What?
I was cheering in Game 1 when he came in.
Yeah, same.
Not so much in Game 5, but
I think the further Nick's point for all the Reds fans who do feel this way, like, can we just go through the early 2010s and remember like who our backup shortstops were? Like, there was a year that they were platooning Paul Janisch and Edgar Renteria. I'm not going to be sad about this being their shortstop tandem.
Yeah, you can never have too many shortstops. You can never have too many center fielders. Many guys that are competent at the position that you can have, the better. So you're not, calling up your Ivan DeJesus Juniors, to be playing and filling in. So yeah, I think it's great to have multiple guys that can cover the position and play well defensively, because that is a major issue for the Reds over the last couple of years, and both of those guys should be plus defenders at shortstop, which is huge.
You love to see it.
Love to see it.
Yeah. Alrighty, so talking about, I guess he was drafted as a shortstop and could also add to this dilemma at some point. Reds 2021 first-round draft pick Matt McLain out of UCLA. The game plan seems to be he'll be starting the 22 season in Double-A in Chattanooga. Obviously, we read a little bit about he played rookie ball for like a week, and they were like, nope, you got to go up. And in the year with the Dragons, actually played pretty well for the Dragons, from what I understand. For anyone who's watched minor league baseball far more than me, if they want to correct me, I'm not going to be mad at you. I understand. But Carlos, kind of curious your thoughts here. Obviously, first round pick. You know, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, just like how much attention those guys get. But he was impressive last year. He played really well. I think if I remember correctly, and someone could tell me again, that knows this better than I do, there was a lot of discussion about him potentially playing another position in the future. But is you could see a possibility where if he, plays really well again, that you could see him as a potential, even like a September call up for this team.
Maybe. I mean, Double A is the right spot to be at if you want to get that call up. He's older too, so it very well could be possible. I mean, he's not that much different than what Jonathan India is whenever he got it. So,
what is it particularly, just from your experience, about? Because you've talked quite a bit about like Double A is basically when you figure out if you can play or not. Like, what is it particularly about Double A? It's that step. Obviously, it's a better competition from A-ball. I understand that part. But like, what is it necessarily about Double A that where like it kind of it gives you the signs of who's going to be a major league player and who isn't?
Just whether the fact they can play or not. Like if they're consistent, if they're, a borderline all-star in that league, then yeah, I'd be curious to see how many all-stars, like what the percentages of all-stars from Double A making it to the big leagues. But no, I mean, you can just tell, man, whenever you're there. I would imagine most fans could tell too if they got to watch the game. So this kid's going to be a big leaguer. Certainly whenever you're around batting practice and you see them fielding balls, or you see, or you hear the way the ball comes off the bat. As far as like teammates, you're able to see their adjustments that they can make, after struggling the first month, and then that the potential's there, and then they make the corrections. All that stuff's easy. That I feel like it's easy to tell, and hitters, I feel like it's a little easier than pitchers, because there's so many pitchers that throw hard, and you can get away with stuff in the minor leagues a lot more, because you really only have to worry about probably the, maybe the first four guys in the lineup. Really, I mean, 3 and 4 are the ones you're only really worried about. So you don't give up, a 2-run homer instead of a run homer. Like, you can just get away with a lot more.
Gotcha.
The stats carry a lot more weight at Double A than like rookie ball, right? I mean,
yeah,
if you go out and so let's just say McLean goes out and tears it up in Double A. I mean, I think it's going to be like, okay, yeah, this guy might have the potential to actually help out the big league club in the very near future, as opposed to if he doesn't rookie ball, well, okay, maybe that's good, maybe it's not. I feel like it's a little bit more of a crapshoot the farther down you are.
Yeah, for sure. The rookie ball and low A and even high, there's still a lot of players that have like no chance. There's so many players that don't even make it to Double A, like so many. I don't know the percentage. They told us back when we were playing. I feel like it was only like 3% or something like that.
Is it like when you got to like that $32,000 question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like you're like, okay, I've made it this far.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you by chance remember, this is totally off topic, but just talking about like the minor leagues and stuff, and they're well known for like minor league stadiums just having the craziest shit going on. Do you remember like the craziest promotion that a stadium had when you were playing in the minors?
Nothing crazy really. I like the one in Chattanooga. They'd give away those old like beat up cars, like drive them around the stadium. They'd give one like every other inning. They'd give one away. Those
like,
are pretty cool.
What the hell am I supposed to do with this thing?
Yeah, you're like hoping you don't win it.
This isn't worth getting insurance.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. I was just kind of thinking about that because I know like here, where I live, we have they're now called the Florence Y'alls from the Frontier League, but they used to be the Florence Freedom. It was like 2012 when the whole like Manti Te'o thing came out. They did like a bobblehead box. That's all it was just a box. And I was like, Manti Te'o fake girlfriend bobblehead night.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't remember too many of them. I just remember like the Superstars and Myro Noodleman and the on-field entertainment whenever we would always screw with them. Whether it was like loosening a bike pedal or putting eye black on the dizzy bat race, like on the top of the bat. So when they get up, it's just like all on their forehead.
That's awesome.
And people would race around or whatever. We'd throw like water on them. Just being kids. Annoying kids is what we were.
The glory days, right, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you. So we did have the minor league Rule 5 draft recently, and the Reds got Ronnie Dawson, who will likely be heading to AAA after spring training. This is a speed, power, and high strikeout guy. Does it provide the utility of playing all three outfield positions? Played 3 major league games for the Astros as a former second round pick. I mean, looking at the numbers there, and the A-ball looks like his on-base percentage is pretty solid there for a hot minute. And then I don't really have much more to add to be positive.
Just another outfielder. Seems like the Reds are really trying to collect as many outfielders as they can, which is funny because we went in like 7 months ago thinking, oh my gosh, we have so many outfielders. What are we gonna do with them all?
Right.
And now we're just collecting them left and right.
Yeah.
This was in the minor league, right? Rule 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Major League Rule 5 has been postponed because of the lockout. You can't do anything with players except for Justin Verlander. He's immune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Ben tweeted that his deal with the Astros is official.
Yeah, I think that was just because it was like a hang up on the technicality and it had already been processed or whatever. But
yeah,
still funny. Like the one player that got through after the lockout.
If it was going to be anyone, it was going to be Justin Verlander.
Of course, it was an Astro.
Right? Yeah.
Those cheaters.
Those cheaters. They banged some trash cans on his way to sign the contract and send him the fax machine. Of course, assuming that they still send things through fax machines, which I highly doubt.
But Ronnie Dawson, we are rooting for you.
I moved my camera today. Yeah.
Howdy.
Kyle Dowdy. Howdy Dowdy. Reached Major Leagues in 19 with the Rangers. His fastball hit 98 miles per hour. Strong arm with massive control issues. Oregon Indians had strong arm, massive control issues. Are the Reds drafting Ricky Vaughn?
This guy is no Cianel Perez. He's less control, so that's fun. I mean, at least he has some upside. At least he does have obviously a live arm and can throw hard. But he's one of those guys you pick up and you hope you can work a miracle with.
Does this say my man went from AAA in 2018 with the Tigers to rookie ball in 19 with the Rangers?
It was probably just a rehab assignment.
Yeah, it was 1 inning.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the 1 inning. Okay. I was like, oh God, that's not promising.
Yeah, I mean this guy last year had 6 walks per 9 in AAA, and in 2019 had 7.3 walks per 9. So massive control issues might be a bit of an understatement. But
okay.
But hey, he can throw hard, so
Yeah.
Golly, I hope they don't let him do live BP versus our starters. Kill someone.
Like when you watch like college softball and they have like the face mask on the helmets, they're telling them to wear those.
Yeah. Golly.
Oh, our next slide, we have Clint Hurdles joining the Rockies organization. I'm surprised they didn't pick this guy up.
Yeah. He's a big Beamer guy. We're not talking Frank Beamer from Virginia Tech. That's a college football joke for anyone who didn't understand it. All right, we're getting awkward. So, yes, we have Ginger's Journal. Shout out Gingersaurus Rex, talking about MLB and LMPA remain far apart for the bargaining agreement. 51 players decided in the AAA phase of the Rule 5 draft. Yasiel Puig is back in baseball, signing a 1-year deal to play in the KBO. Like Dick mentioned, Clint Hurdle is back with the Rockies. And then we discussed the Kyle Howdy Dowdy and Ronnie Dawson picks. And then Carson Fulmer going to the Dodgers. Alcantara also going to Japan. And Tim Fedorowicz and Christian Colon retired. Brandon Finnegan signing a minor league deal with the White Sox and the Giants, adding infielder / relief pitcher because the Reds needed him so bad so many times this year, Alex Blandino. So things are hopping.
100% Blandino is going to be a superstar with the Giants. You see that coming for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Man, how far did Puig fall? I mean, man, when he was with the Reds. I mean, we were talking about like signing him to a 5-year extension or something. Like that was 2019. That wasn't that long ago.
Did you read his little apology letter he wrote or whatever?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even really. Was it before that he was like not getting picked up, or was that part of it?
Yeah, his signing came after that.
Okay.
I'm like, get out of here.
His agent's also Rachel Luba, for what it's worth.
Not going there. Nope. Nope. Carlos, we got a question for you from Bryce. From the guys you talk to, what level of baseball is the KBO or the Japan League? AAA better?
I don't really know too many guys that have played over there, or had too many conversations with the guys that did. So I really don't know. I can't answer that question just because I'm not sure. But I would imagine it's better than AAA, the Japanese league. I don't know about the KBO. I'm not sure at all. But I don't know. Maybe take it that back. Maybe it's very similar to AAA with just some better players. Maybe I don't know.
I feel like it's a lot more common for players to go, when they're still like have the capability of maybe making a major league roster, or friends just saying, you know what, I'm going over there now, and kind of getting that guaranteed money. It didn't seem like that was the case as much, 5 or 10 years ago. It just seems like that's kind of a different trend.
Yeah.
Well, because of it, we got the excellent movie Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck. Ever heard of it?
Sure have.
Yeah, maybe that's what started the trend.
Maybe.
We got another good question in here.
Why did Reds Twitter all of a sudden start arguing about Farmer versus Barrero today? Does this useless argument ever
Because
stop?
I hate dumb opinions, and I had to fire one off.
Liam, first off, go heels. I like the icon. Second, it doesn't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
In fairness, what the hell are we supposed to talk about in December in a lockout? I mean, hey, any conversation about baseball is good conversation about baseball. I don't know. I might take that back. I might walk that back next week. But
we might have like a podcast in the near future where we're discussing like our all-time favorite baseball movies and doing a fantasy draft of people who have characters from baseball movies. That might be happening.
Jimmy Fallon's character, #1 overall from Fever Pitch.
But he wasn't like an actual legitimate player, though.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, before we go to the next part of the discussion here, we're going to go ahead and say that this episode is also brought to you by Lightbox. Say goodbye to dull gifts. Lightbox lab-grown diamonds are the brightest gifts of the year. Using cutting-edge technology and innovative techniques, they've cracked the science of sparkle, creating the highest quality lab-grown diamonds you can find at a light price of $800 per carat. They have the same chemical makeup of natural diamonds, but just are grown in a lab. Because of their process, they can create stones in blush pink and a beautiful blue, as well as classic white. Lightbox lab-grown diamonds are a gift they'll never want to take off, priced so they won't have to. They really do make the outfit sparkle. Visit lightboxjewelry.com to add sparkle to your holiday shopping. That's lightboxjewelry.com. Lightbox Diamonds, never a dull moment.
Yeah, I think we all got to get on our Christmas shopping, get on the Lightbox. Let's make it happen.
But if I explain to my wife that I bought something that's $800 for Christmas, I'm in trouble.
Don't tell her. That works out well.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's go ahead and talk about next year's potential starting rotation, shall we, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, as we see here, the Reds are going to be moving on for a few different guys. But Luis Castillo coming back, leading the way, has a... Okay. I understand why we use these metrics and stuff, and I'm all for it. But Steamer is a really bad name for a baseball projection.
The hot steamer.
So
that should have been the name of our podcast. The Cincinnati Hot Steamer.
Be the cold steamer right now.
So Luis Castillo right now is projected at just under 108 innings, a 3.78 ERA, and a 3.9 FWAR. I'm all for those numbers. I'll take a little bit of a lower ERA, but who wouldn't? Am I right? Especially in GABP.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like the ERA projections don't go as low as they will actually go for players. They're usually a little bit more conservative. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I don't think there's a lot of players that will actually get like a sub 3 ERA projection. So even when you're the basically what I'm trying to say is the top tier pitchers tend to be higher than they could go to. And the same with the pitchers that, could be that are probably really bad. They don't actually go as high just because, that variance they tend to go closer to the middle is kind of what I'm saying. So a 3.78, that's actually probably in the grand scheme of pitchers really, really good is kind of what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. I'll never forget when we had that offseason, we signed Eric Milton and people got excited. So I'll take a 3.78 ERA from our ace.
Yeah, I mean 3.78 is really good. You're not gonna get much better.
Especially after his first month.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other part. Show us what it'll be in April and May and June on, and we'll probably even out in the middle.
Or was it first 2 months, Nick? Nick, are you there?
The first 2 months were not great. But no, sorry, I was looking this up. So there's only 2 pitchers that have a sub 3 ERA projection by Steamer, Corbin Burns and Jacob deGrom. So again, like a 3.78 is
Grow up, Tim.
is really it is really good.
Yes, it is. All right, to the next Steamer.
Oh boy.
Tyler Mahle projected 176 innings, a 4.25 ERA, and a 3.0 FWAR, and also 130 wasted innings of throwing 35 pitches or more.
See, those are the ones that were in the box. I'm like, they're projecting hard hit percentage. No, that was from 2021.
Yeah. I love Tyler Mahle, so I only joke about that. I really only joke. I do really like him, and I think he's very good.
If the Reds did end up trading Tyler Mahle, I think he'd be a player that would be much more appreciated when he's gone.
Yes.
Like D. Scalwini?
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think Mahle is really. I mean, I think he was already a top 15 pitcher in the National League last year, but I think he was like the top 15 by ERA. Like, I'm not even using any crazy metrics. Like,
yeah, you just use ERA. That's a crazy metric. What is this? 1998?
But no, I think Mahle will get All-Star consideration next year. I think he'll be in the conversation to pitch in the All-Star game. I'll go ahead and throw a bold prediction out there.
Ooh.
He's had a really nice trajectory the last couple years. Seems like he's really starting to take off. Some of his advanced numbers like his K rate, his hard hit rate. I mean, those are really, really good. I think that the away splits, I think they were a little over exaggerated. I don't think that's going to be a trend. I also don't think he's going to pitch as well on the road next year. But I don't think he's going to pitch as bad as home. I think those will kind of even out a little bit more. I think 2019, he had a really good year at home. So I don't think this is some, sign, hey, he can't pitch at home.
Maybe
I think
they
that'll
just send all those loaded balls to Cincinnati, and he pitched with all the dead balls on the road.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Joking, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it was just, some bad luck, and maybe at times, it kind of snowballed on him. He did, have a couple games where he really got rocked that kind of really inflated those numbers a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I really hope they keep Tyler Mahle unless they're getting a massive haul for him, because I think he's a legit top of the rotation pitcher.
Yeah, I do too.
You still have him ranked number 3 on the Reds. Is that right?
No, I have number 2 since he's the second slide.
His steamer projections say he's number 2, Carlos.
Well, half and half.
We need to get one of those, or write it down, steal it from the TNT, NBA on TNT, where these predictions that they make, and you write them down, and we'll come back and revisit.
Guarantee, as Charles Barkley says.
I guarantee.
Well, one of the fun things is like all of our podcasts are up on the internet, so people can go back and look at them.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go back and say, hey, when did Nick say that? Yeah, I'm not.
I'm sure someone will do it for you.
What are the Apple Podcast reviews? I saw that recently, and I was going through ours. Was like the person was like, I love this show, and I go like back and forth with some of their takes, where they're awesome, and some takes that drive me crazy. And I was like, perfect. That's exactly what we're aiming for.
Yeah, Nick's the Skip Bayless of the show.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
You're the one provoking the entire fan base today.
Yeah. Did you remember Liam's question earlier? That was you. You started the argument.
Was not about me. Skip. Hey, Carlos, what's your legit take on Tyler Mahle? I know you give me a lot of grief about him. I'm honestly, do you think like he's?
I think he's a good number 3 starter for a playoff team. I don't see him. Definitely don't see him in the top 15 in the National League. I mean, without going ahead too much, what are the numbers say for Gray?
So Gray has a better ERA but a lower WAR because
so they're pretty similar.
Well, because
only 135 innings.
Yeah, that's why he's projected, and seems like a pretty fair projection.
Yeah, it does. No, but yeah, I think he's perfect where the Reds have him right now. Number 2, number 3 type of guy. I like his stuff whenever he's on. He's really exciting to pitch. So weird that it was so weird watching him at home, and that's those bad outings are what sticks with me more than the positive outings. Just because golly, some of those games were just out of hand so early. But if that high fastball, man, he throws that so well. That's to me, that's his best pitch, is that high fastball. He can just live up there on those corners. It's nice.
Yeah, I think
he's still growing. I mean, he's still pretty young. So
yeah, I mean, I joke about it, but there were definitely times when it's like they were in close games. And it was like must wins, and you were like taking him out in the 5th because he threw like 107 pitches already, and you're like, I assume that's going to come with age. That's going to go down more. So that's just kind of the one thing like I would love to see. That's baseball right now. Saying I want to see my pitcher go 6-7 innings, like that's basically everyone not named Jacob deGrom right now. So
I feel like it's moved down to like 5 or 6 innings now.
Yeah, quality start would now be 4 2/3 of 1 earned run, and
yeah,
Mahle was still above league average, and how deep he pitched into a game. He pitched deeper than the average starter did. The Reds in general were significantly better than most teams. I don't think a lot of people really realize how much better the Reds were at that than other teams. But yeah, I mean, Mahle in 2020, I mean, granted there's no fans, but I don't really think that would have too much of an impact on pitching at home or not. But he had 3.03 ERA at home in 2020. There's only 5 starts, but he did have some success. But the Reds in general, the team ERA is 4.74 at home and 4.06 on the road. So every Reds pitcher is going to pitch better on the road just because of the ballpark that they play in. So that's what I'm saying. I think some of this will kind of even out a little bit more. I don't think it'll be as pronounced. I think some of it was just kind of some variance, but I don't think he'll be able to post close to a sub-2 ERA on the road again either. I think those will probably both come back to earth a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this is the kind of the Sonny Gray projections, which, like we said, as far as innings, seems pretty accurate with his injury history. And obviously, depending how long this lockout goes, it's seeming more and more like he'll be a Red next year. Where if you had talked to me at the beginning of the year, I probably would have projected him to not pitch for the Reds next season, which is still a possibility, obviously, depending on when the business resumes. But, it's hard to not like Sonny Gray. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a dude. He goes out there and he battles. He's been doing this for a long time. He's had great resurgence with the Reds since coming over from the Yankees. So I will always root for him. If this is the end of his Reds tenure when business picks back up, thanks for everything and being awesome and being an all-star. And if not, I look forward to seeing you pitch for the Reds again, man.
Yeah, he's definitely fun to watch for sure. He's a competitor. You want to give him the ball. The guys want to play defense behind him. He gets going. You know what you're going to get from him every time out. So that it's a good feeling to go to the ballpark whenever Sonny Gray's pitching, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I know he's had some injury issues. He still made 68 starts the last 3 years with the Reds, which is 9 more than DeGrom made. So, as injury prone or whatever you want to say, he still made a decent amount of starts. Gray is 18th in baseball in wins above replacement among starting pitchers since he came to the Reds. Castillo's 10th, but he's right ahead of Darvish and Kershaw and Gossman and Bauer. And Mally's 34th. So, Mally's not far behind. He didn't have a very good 2019 either. So, these are 3 really, really good pitchers. Not a lot of teams have 3 pitchers of this level. I think there's certainly, better high-end pitchers, better number ones, but having 3 of these guys that are all, really good, not a lot of teams have that.
Yeah. What would you say Sonny is now? Is he more a 2 type of 3 guy for you?
It depends on what you're talking about. On a
playoff team.
Well, are we talking 7 playoff teams next year? I get what you're saying. Like in the AL East, yeah, he's probably like a 3 or 4. But in the NL Central, winning the NL Central, I don't know. If you're comparing him to the Brewers, he's like a 3. If you're comparing him to the Cardinals, would he be the best pitcher on the Cardinals next year?
I don't even know who they have.
Wainwright. They picked up
the guy that was hurt.
Matt's.
Jack Flaherty would probably be above him.
Yeah, Jack Flaherty. But Gray's not far behind Flaherty. They're, but that's what I'm saying. He's certainly not in the level of like Corbin Burns, or even probably Brandon Woodruff. But I think he's probably not far behind like a Jack Flaherty. He'd be the ace of the Cubs right now. I think I'd take him over Stroman.
And the little guys battled it out.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just think if the Reds do keep all 3 of these guys, which I hope they do, unless someone's just really going to blow them away. These are 3 really, really good pitchers that, if you're going to have 7 playoff teams, which it sounds like is probably likely to happen because that's like the only thing that the players have to concede for the other things they want. That's a pretty good path right there to get you into the playoffs at least. Am I crazy on that?
No, not at all, man. And plus, the
Reds finished 6th last year. They finished tied for 5th the year before. It's not, 7 playoff teams. You're right there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you, man. Vladimir Gutierrez, who...
A spider on your neck, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. That is intimidating.
One, Nick.
Nick's going to have one next year. We're going to come on for opening day. And he's going to have a spider just right here.
My kids might be a little scared of that. I don't know.
They'll get used to it.
Yeah. I don't know if I could pull it off like Vlad.
Not with that attitude, you couldn't.
I'd have to do a little more chiseling. A lot of more.
So Vladimir Gutierrez, funny enough, as his teammate Jonathan India won National Rookie of the Year, got a couple votes, ended up on the ballot. So I like Vlad. Vlad kind of, he battles like we've seen. He was really impressive his first couple starts. Had a couple rocky starts there towards the end of the year, but as far as like a back of the rotation guy, I'm pretty in on him. I think he has some good upside, but I think he definitely could kind of slip down next season and kind of have a little bit more of a regression like you saw towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it feels like teams were they had enough film on him and stuff and started making their adjustments. So it's going to be on him now to make his adjustment back to that. But again, the way that I like to grade these guys is how I see them on a playoff team. And I see him as being, like a 6th guy or a 7th guy or
like a long man
or a long guy. Yeah. They can get by, at times when people are hurt with him being the 5, but unless he changes some things up, then I don't see him in the top 5.
Yeah, I think the Reds would be a lot better off if either one of two things happen. Either Green and Lodolo, both, who we're going to talk about in a minute, come up and are able to stay in the rotation. And Vlad is your 6th starter floating between AAA and the majors. And I think he would really be perfectly fine in that role, a lot better than what a lot of other teams are going to have, kind of doing that shuttle role. Or the Reds go sign another pitcher. I know they were, talking about Andrew Heaney at least. So if the Reds do keep all their starters and if they're able to add maybe one more guy kind of that caliber, I think Gutierrez really kind of fits in that role kind of going back and forth. I mean, yes, I don't think he was as good as he, showed early. But you're not gonna take that away from him. I mean, he came up and he filled a big void for the Reds and pitched really well. So
Yeah, he did.
I feel better about him than I did when he came up, but I don't feel like Rookie of the Year 5th place finish good about him. Like you would think you might.
I'm with you.
I'd like to see them somehow mix him in there with those young guys, with those 2 younger guys, and not necessarily a 6-man rotation, because I still want to see Lewis and Tyler Malley pitch every 5th day. But those other 3, like Gray, can use the rest because, I mean, his body's catching up with him.
That's
Vladimir, Lodolo, and Green and Gutierrez, and just kind of mix them in. Give like maybe starting in May, if the season starts on time, like in May. Okay, start. Stevenson or Green, you're gonna miss your next start. Vlad's got you. Next time around, Vlad's got Lodolo, and just giving each other extra time off, because if we start the season and those 2 young guys are on there, I don't see them pitching in the playoffs. That's because that's way too many innings for them.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
That is a great point.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And I mean, if Green and Lodolo both start the year in the rotation, they're probably not going to be able to finish the year. It seems unlikely. So, but if you can mix them in and give them some days off, maybe you can keep them the whole year.
Yeah, I agree. We all know this is my guy, my dude.
He is.
Raver San Martin. Just, he only pitched 2 major league games against the Pirates at the end of the year, but I was impressed with him, man. He just went right at those dudes. Didn't let anyone try to beat him. If they beat him, that was because they got the best of him. Obviously came over in the Sonny Gray trade, so it's been really pay off. I'm high on him. I know they say he was pitching pretty well this offseason. But this is kind of your start the year at AAA spot start kind of guy. Maybe potential reliever depending on what the needs are there. But I like Reaver San Martin, man. I just think he's a dude. I think he's a dog. I think he just competes.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. I did see somebody on Twitter said they wanted him to be a reliever so he could be Reaver the reliever. That made me LOL.
That's easy marketing. Easy marketing.
Yeah, that was a good comment. I was trying to get it up on here, but I'm having some struggles. San Martin should be a reliever, so Reaver the reliever can happen. I mean, I asked for so little. That was a really, really good comment from Mike. I did enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, it's an A+ tweet, as we call it in the biz.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I saw, and again, Streamer is the lesser of the projections. Zips isn't out yet, so we're just using Streamer because it's only.
Is it Streamer or Steamer?
Steamer. Sorry. I was kind of surprised at that 4.15 ERA projection, 1.3 that's a heck of a projection for him.
Golly.
He pitched pretty well in Louisville.
I thought I was optimistic, man.
Yeah.
That one's got anything on Steamer.
Yeah, he had a pretty good minor league season if you see in AA and AAA there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's another guy. I mean, he's another, if he's floating back and forth, filling, he'll fill that void well. If he has to make, 10, 15 consecutive starts, he probably will get exposed.
So in 100 innings, his K through 9 was about 10, if you average him out.
Yeah, I mean, he strikes guys out.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Doesn't walk. I mean, he had phenomenal numbers last year.
Yeah, he did.
Man, I tell you, if he does do anything in the rotation, that Sonny Gray trade. Oh my goodness.
I know. Yeah, you're right, man. Like I'm looking now, like at this. I've looked at this before, but just seeing it again, like doesn't give up a lot of homers. And again, that's he's only pitched one time at Great American Ballpark, so I know this is hindsight, but
he did pitch twice against the Pirates, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So he was basically just pitching in AAA.
Well, according to Clay, the Pirates are the future, and they're going to be the greatest team to ever play baseball again. So,
I don't think the 2021 Pirates were in that. But yeah, no. I mean, every start he makes next year that's positive. I mean, that's just another like Sword and Brian Cashman. So let's go.
That's true.
We're here for it, Reaver. Make him pay.
I agree. Then we have Jeff Hoffman, who
the legend.
I really like Jeff Hoffman as a reliever. I think that's a really good fit for him. Another spot starter, be on the major league roster through the year. But again, don't have the numbers in front of me, but last year seemed like when they made that move when he came off the IL, he pitched fairly well coming out of the pen for a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't blow you away. Doesn't have like anything. Doesn't have like something like his fastball's really good, obviously, but not a guy that I'm like super stoked about when I see he's starting that day and he's taking the mound.
Yeah. I don't mind having him on the roster. I mean, every team needs someone like him. If kind of hate to say it, but if he's our mop-up guy, long guy, that's not a bad one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you saw other teams down the stretch, having to really put some garbage starting pitchers out there because it just ran out of pitching. So I don't think Hoffman was ever as bad as he was made out to be. He was a guy that the Reds basically picked up for nothing. Robert Stevenson, it sounds like they were going to non-tender. So I was glad they picked him up. He's
like him better as a reliever. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, and he had good numbers as a reliever last year. 3.54 ERA in 28 innings. Struck out 40 batters in 28 innings as a reliever. So it was 5.20 ERA as a starter. I mean, that's not good, but he also didn't get crushed either, So if he's a guy, making your spot starts, he's at least a guy that the best way to say it is this. If Jeff Hoffman comes out and makes a start, you at least have a chance that maybe he pitches well. Probably isn't, but it's not like one of these things like when the Padres are throwing out Jake Arrieta. He's not going to pitch well. Like
they're go there, you son of a.
Well, I was going there, but at least there is some potential there. But yeah, the Reds are obviously better off if he's in the bullpen. But
yeah, Bryce putting up his minor league numbers there: 28 innings pitched, 3.5 ERA, almost 13 strikeouts per 9. It's pretty
solid.
Pretty saucy.
Yeah. He wears 23 too. Always respecting that.
LeBron's number.
Yeah. See, Bryce follows us up. Team Bryce. I like it. Obviously, the dude of dudes, as Reds fans are very excited for. Hunter Green, former second overall pick, was on the cover of Sports Illustrated for kids. He mashes. Actually, he had some Instagram videos recently where he was hitting again. He's got a nice cut, man. He's got a nice swing. I know he's hitting off a tee, but swing looks good. I don't know if that really matters here, but obviously when it comes to Hunter Green, the conversation is about, we know, Carlos hit on it quite a bit this year. We know he can throw a fastball. We know he can place a fastball. It's just figuring out those secondary pitches. Obviously, he pitched really well for Chattanooga this year and then went to Louisville. Pitched decent, had some really good outings. I felt like though, just kind of like from the outside looking in, there was a lot of like, he struck out 9 guys and threw 5 innings, but he also gave up 3 home runs kind of thing. I'm still really high on Hunter Green. I know a lot of people believe in Lodolo more. I would probably consider myself in that market, but I'm still in the high belief that he's going to be a very good major league pitcher.
He's only 21.
Right.
I mean, maybe he's 22. I don't know. He was 21 last year. I mean, man, the strikeout capability that he has, he's gonna definitely be a pitcher that you expect to have some growing pains when he comes up, and have some really really good starts and probably have some really really bad starts, and you're just gonna kind of have to, live with that. But man, I can't wait for him to make his first start. He is. Yeah, I've only seen him pitch once in person, and it's electric. It is.
I'm yet to see him pitch in person, so if his first starts at GABP, I will get tickets that night.
Yeah, anyone in the area should. I mean, he's just he's special, and you hope he can pan out to his potential, because if he does, I mean, that's a really dominant pitcher for hopefully 6 years.
Damn, they're projecting him.
I thought, I know they showed a couple of his at bats on the Louisville Bats Twitter account. I know it doesn't matter for a pitcher necessarily, but especially with the DH more than likely coming into the National League, I think this is something where he might be able to. Does anyone know this? Could he hit next year as like a something at all, if anything?
I think while not pitching.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, especially since you're not going to need pinch hitters. I don't. I think what happened to Michael Lorenzen last year is going to terrify the Reds.
Yeah, that's
ever doing anything like that again. Like the worst luck possible on that. Man, that's the kind of thing that I think sticks with you for a while. Like, you're like, hey, I'm not messing with this. And I mean, especially with Hunter Green. I mean, with the talent and the Sports Illustrated cover.
Yeah, he already had Tommy John. And
we're not messing with them. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I definitely am. And of course, Nick Lodolo, who's also the number 1 overall pick. If you look, the numbers are there. We talk about he's also got the ability to have some strikeouts. Didn't look like he gave us many home runs. Did struggle a little bit in AAA this year. And if very few starts. Did he get injured? Was that right?
Yeah, he was hurt. He had, I think, blister issue.
Yeah.
We said several injury issues since he's been up. I think most of them have been kind of like nothing like too long term of a concern. But man, when he pitches, he's had some pretty dominant success.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him. I've bought a couple rookie cards, so when he wins the Cy Young, I can retire.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Whoa.
And then here's our other guys. This is kind of other guys that the rest of the depth chart. Riley O'Brien, we saw him. He pitched at the end of the year, and against the White Sox didn't go too well, but he's a guy who had a nice year. For the Reds in AAA. Kind of on the radar at least. Graham Ashcraft is a guy that I know a lot of people are high on. It sounds like he's probably going to start the year in AA. Doesn't sound like he really has a chance of like making the opening day roster unless there's just a ton of injuries.
Is that the guy that had like the crazy run of not allowing a run?
Yeah.
He's going back to AA?
I think so. I think he was in single A and went up to AA during that run, if I remember right. The Reds also picked up Connor Overton. It's a guy that dominated the Reds with the Pirates. He's got some decent, numbers.
Whew, at least we don't have to face him in September.
Yeah.
You're not kidding there.
Can't beat him, join him. So, I mean, he'll be kind of one of those, guys, non-roster invitee kind of, fighting for a job. And I think he's pitched in the bullpen as well. So he's just another option for that. I mean, that's pretty much, most of the guys there. Everyone else is pretty far away. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Reds are adding, maybe not guys that are for sure, could make a MLB rotation. But guys that are definitely like I think the Reds could add a couple more pitchers that were kind of like where Jeff Hoffman was at the start of last year, where they could make the team kind of fringe, major league pitchers and see if they can, get someone in camp and have a good camp and kind of carry that into the season.
You think there's any chance that they bring in a starter who could fight for a starting position?
Johnny
in the
Cueto.
rotation?
Yeah. I think like a Johnny Cueto. I mean, I think it's more likely than not that they'll bring in a pitcher like a Cueto or someone like a veteran that's kind of a fringe, fifth starter.
Maybe trade for Miley.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
Wade Miley will be the new Hal Morris, where like the Reds would get rid of him and he would keep coming back to the team at some point.
I really hope. I liked Wade when he was here. I really hope he just gets destroyed with the Cubs because I don't want to hear it all year. Like it's just going to be.
Cold-blooded.
I hope he's pitching for a rival, so like
That's true.
I hope he has an ERA of 50 plus.
I remember like when Arthur Rhodes ended up pitching for the Cardinals and just being heartbroken. That was like after his All-Star season with the Reds, and then whoever he like signed with traded under the Cardinals at the deadline. It was just like, damn it. Good pain to have. So I guess now we can look at this. This is what Nick put together here as far as the potential of the rotations. Which one do you like a little more? I think 2022 obviously has more upside. So I think I'm more excited about that one. And I think, obviously the top three doesn't change. So I think I'm going to lean towards the 22 team because they got, with the young arms they have, plus the three guys at the top who are experienced, it looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is close. Lorenzen didn't start off as a starter last year, did he?
Going into camp, he was supposed to be the Reds' fifth starter. Like it sounded like he had the inside track. Was what people were saying.
But Hoffman ended up being the fifth guy, right?
Well, and De Leon was in the rotation because Gray was hurt.
Gotcha.
So they were both there. So
yeah, I don't know. That's pretty close because Wade Miley gives a big bump at the 4 hole.
Yeah.
And those others, just so many unknowns.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting 2021 Wade Miley, I think there's no question I would take the 2021 rotation. But if we're talking what Wade Miley may or may not put up in 2022, I don't think he's going to be anywhere close to what he did in 2021. I just don't think he's going to be able to repeat that. I'm not saying he'll be bad. I think he'll probably be closer to a league average starter if I was betting. So I don't know. I mean, essentially you are swapping out Wade Miley and bringing in Green and Lodolo into the mix. I mean, that's certainly has the potential to be a good trade-off. There's no guarantees, There's
no Jose De Leon, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I'm mixing my lineup up over there on the 2022. Well, Castillo, Gray, Malley, Lodolo, Green,
we expect
Martin, Gutierrez.
We expect Castillo will be better.
Yes.
Right? Because there's no way he's going to have as bad of first 2 months as he had last year. He's just not going to do that again.
I don't know if I wouldn't say it's not going to happen.
He's not going to have an ERA of 8 going into June. Like that's not going to happen again. Now, I don't know if he will be able to have the same kind of run of dominance he had after that again, So some of that might kind of even out. I think Gray will at least be slightly better. I would be surprised because he ended up right around a 4 ERA last year.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing he's going to be worse, right? I think he's going to be at least a little better. I've already said I think Malley's going to be better. Gray, if he stays healthy, I mean, I think he's put up about the same numbers every year. So I think he just kind of is what he is. So, I mean, I think the top 3 overall probably have the potential to probably will be slightly better if I was betting. And then you're basically after that swapping out Green and Lodolo and, maybe Gutierrez or San Martin for Miley, and Gutierrez or Hoffman or De Leon, whoever the fifth starter was throughout the year. So I definitely think they're at least comparable to each other. I don't think there's this big gap. Like I think it's kind of been, I don't think there's going to be a big step back by any means. I think the rotation is still going to be probably about as good, but has the potential to be better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like it.
We did get one more comment. Carlos, will let you read this one.
What did it say? Let's discuss trading the light hitting strikeout artist Barrero to another team. Man, y'all mean AF on here.
Thanks, Jeff, for watching.
Yes.
No,
I get what you're trying to do. I hope you're joking, Jeff.
I think Jeff's joking. But if you're not, Jeff, we love both players. The Reds need a good Kyle Farmer, and they need a good Jose Barrero in 2022.
I
both
just
players
hope he hasn't
being good
cut his hair, man. I love that soul glow hair coming out the back of that helmet, baby. That's money.
Yeah.
Hopefully that can become a thing. Like t-shirts, I'll buy a t-shirt with the soul glow silhouette.
Same. Cincy shirts, if you see this, you have 2 customers waiting on you.
Send us a free one for our efforts.
Yeah, exactly. And pay the photographer that you rip off for taking the photo.
Yep.
Most importantly. All right. So I think we touched on everything. Did we miss anything? Is there anything more important we got to touch on?
No more steamers to talk about?
No more steamers.
Can't believe we dragged this out over an hour.
I know.
We're approaching Clay territory. Gotta wrap this up.
Yes. So with that note and that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this week's edition of Late Night Reds Talk Live, brought to you by the Believe Podcast Network, Bet Online, and Lightbox Diamonds. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are at all the above. Please, for the love of God, for our Christmas present this year, leave us a nice solid 5-star review, please, so people find us more. Obviously had a fun year. We're doing our best during the lockout because there's jack crap to talk about at times, but we appreciate you guys are hanging out with us, still coming and talking on the show and giving us comments. Bryce for feeding us some stats. That's definitely coming in useful, so we definitely appreciate that as well. But other than that, we'll be back next week for our Christmas Spectacular. Nick doesn't know. I just called it that, so sorry, producer Nick, but get your Christmas stuff prepared for next week's show. Have a good night, everyone.